Very good. Are you very good? So this is going to be a jet vlog, and it's going to be one of the few that I make in 2012. I've got so many on my channel, of course. I'm in my office, and I just finished work. It's after 6 p.m., and I'm about to go home, but I wanted to throw this up because the jet applications are due very soon. I can't imagine that there's a lot that I haven't covered in other videos. So just search by keyword, look around the playlists. If you have questions, last minute questions, feel free. I'll put some links also to some helpful videos in the description box. But as the title indicates, this vlog is going to be a little bit about, well, maybe if you're this type of person, you really shouldn't be applying to JET. Because, let's face it, not everyone is cut out to move to a foreign country where you may or may not know the language and, live alone and some of the other things that happen when you become an ALT or a CIR in the JET program. And I get a lot of PMs. I get a lot of messages here on YouTube. I get some on my Facebook page. I get requests to read statements of purpose, SOPs, letters, the essay that you have to write. And I read a lot of those in the past. This year, I only read one. A lot of people asked, and I basically said, I'm really busy, sorry. If you really want me to do it, it's going to cost money. And I know that's distasteful to some of you, but, one person took me up on it, and I think he liked my advice. But I read a lot of your statements of purpose. Not all of you are liberal arts majors, I realize, and so not all of you use English. If you're a biology major or something, maybe you don't have to write a lot of papers. If your English is poor, maybe you shouldn't be a JET. I mean, to be honest, some of you, I read some of your emails, and I do every now and then, especially if it's like a high school student who's emailing me like, I really want to move to Japan and teach English. And the email is so bad. The grammar is so poor, the spelling, punctuation, and I realize email is a casual correspondence, but they're emailing me to hope to get advice about getting a job teaching English, and their English is subpar. So, it is a job that you have to do for at least 1 year. You do get the side benefit of coming and living in Japan, and that's all, peaches and cream. But you got to show up every day at school and teach English. And, there's got to be some inkling, some spark, some, hey, this is something I kind of want to do, or else it's just going to be kind of torturous for 40 or 50 weeks. So do you want to teach English? You really should answer that question for yourself and be prepared to answer it in the interview. Why do you want to teach English, specifically in Japan, if you get through the JET process? A lot of people email me with very specific, well, I want to go, but, and as soon as that but comes in, maybe you aren't the right person for JET either. You really have to be able to roll with the punches. Everything should be okay. When you go to that interview, if you get past the application stage and go to the interview, everything they throw at you should be like, well, yeah, that would be difficult, or, well, that's an interesting question. I would certainly handle it this way because I would want to do this and this, and you want to be positive, and you want to be like, everything is okay, you'll be proactive, you'll work with it, you'll deal with it. As soon as it's like, but, maybe JET is not for you, and it's a really competitive program. I get people, oh, really, how big are the spiders? I don't know if I could live in a place with spiders. I'm like, everywhere in the world has spiders, okay? Yes, you are going to get sent to a very rural place, most likely. So yes, you will maybe have to kill the occasional spider. Maybe you live in some, sealed-off tower in a big gleaming city in your home country, and you never get insects. But yeah, there's mosquitoes, there's spiders, there's the occasional centipede. I mean, seriously, if that really, you can't handle it, then don't come to Japan. Yes, it's very, very freaking hot in the summer. It's very, very cold in the winter. You have to deal with these things. Yes, you will be living alone. I had somebody that emailed me like, well, could I bring my dad? I mean, could he live in the town where I'm teaching? Because we've never been apart, man. And I'm just like, really? I mean, I realized I was 35 when I first started Jet, so I was a lot older, a lot more mature. Some of you are like 22, 23, and I'm not disparaging against that age group in general. But for some of you, it's the first time you've lived away from your family. It's the first time you've lived alone. First time you've ever had a full-time job for some of you. And all that compounded with being put in a foreign country where a lot of you haven't learned Japanese before you come. It's difficult. There's a lot of culture transition that you have to go through. If you don't think that you can handle that, Jet might not be right for you. I'm just saying, not everyone is cut out to do this job, and it's just not right. Some people realize that. They get off the plane, they do the job for a few months, and they know that. And they go home after a year. And that's the good thing about the fact that you have to recontract. If it's just not for you, you have the option of going home after a year. It's not like you've signed up for the Army or something and you have to stay 3 or 4 years. What else? I get people that ask me, really hard medical questions. And as much as I want to give advice and stuff, I'm just not qualified, trained to do that. And if you really have a serious medical thing, you've been on drugs for depression or this or that, or something is going on in your life, put Jet off for a few years. Take care of that. I don't know what else to say to some people that PM me. Like I said, Jet is not necessarily for everyone. And, I even had a Jet friend who was an early J vlogger back in 2005, 2006 when I started. And he said, I told him about this idea to make these videos to help people. And he's like, that sounds like a good idea. I fully endorse the videos you're going to make to help people like get ready to come to Japan after they've been accepted as a Jet. And I did. I made those videos first in early 2008. And then I was like, okay, well now I'm going to make these other videos about how to do the application, how to do the interview. And he's like, no, don't do that. And I was like, why? And he's like, because if you can't get into the program, you don't deserve to be in the program. And I don't know how much I agree with that. I definitely think everybody needs help. You should have your SOP read by another person. Another person reading your essay is going to pick out little tiny mistakes with an apostrophe, with a comma, with a capital letter, with something that you just have missed because you've read it 50 times. Everybody, should have maybe a friend do a once-over on the application. Well, what about this box? Shouldn't you check this? Or, something like that. Never hurts. But certainly, a certain amount of self-reliance is good. The internet is a big, powerful tool. You can use it. And I mean, that's why my videos are out there, to help you as a resource to like go, oh, this is what Jason did. Now, you got to realize I also applied to JET in 2003, and that's coming up on 10 years ago. Things have changed. I had to do all the application on paper. Now you do it all online. There's background checks and stuff that I didn't have to do. But basically, think about some of the questions you ask before you ask them, I guess is what I'm saying. And really, is this, can you really find this information out for yourself? Probably you can. I mean, definitely I have lots of people that are just like, hey, dude, you live in Japan, man. That's cool. Like, what did you do to get there? Like, I want to come and, like, do that too. So, like, what do you suggest? I get these incredibly vague, open-ended emails, and I appreciate that they're showing an interest in my videos and in life in Japan. But, of course, I mean, how can you answer that question? It's ridiculous. So, work hard on the application. Don't give up. I know it's tough. I know, it's been a lot of work to get it all together. Mail it out on time. Hand deliver it. Federal Express it. You definitely want to track it. And I'll put some links down below to other videos you can check out. Best of luck. I hope you are one of the people that can come to Japan, that will say yes, and that's okay. And really, I'll have to live in snow. Well, I didn't want to live in snow, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to make a snowman every day in the front of my apartment or something. I mean, you're going to be that person that just adapts to whatever they throw at you, so you can come and do this adventure in Japan, because it really, really is worth it. Okay, ganbatte, guys. Do your best. I hope that you get an interview, and feel free to leave comments and questions down below. I'll do my best to help you. Okay? See you next time. Bye.